The most dangerous foods in your diet probably aren't the ones you think. It's not the burger or the fries. It's the foods marketed to you as healthy, the ones with words like natural, whole grain, and low fat on the label. These 5 foods are in most people's homes right now, and the research on what they're actually doing to your body is something the food industry has spent billions making sure you never connect to what you're eating. Welcome to Top 5 Zone. Everything on this list is backed by peer-reviewed research. This isn't about fad diets or online health trends. Subscribe if you want more breakdowns like this every week. Let's get into it. Number 5. Fruit juice. This one lands on the list specifically because of how widely it's trusted as a health food. Orange juice at breakfast, apple juice for kids, green juice from the cold press bar. The perception is that you're drinking fruit, so you're getting the benefits of fruit. But the research tells a very different story, and the difference comes down to one thing: fiber. A medium orange contains about 12 grams of sugar and 3 grams of fiber. That fiber slows down how fast the sugar enters your bloodstream. Your blood glucose rises gradually, your insulin response is moderate, and you feel full. A glass of orange juice contains the sugar from 4 to 5 oranges, no fiber, and hits your bloodstream in minutes. The glycemic response is nearly identical to drinking a glass of Coca-Cola. A 2019 study published in JAMA Network Open followed over 13,000 adults and found that every additional 12-ounce serving of fruit juice per day was associated with a 24% higher risk of all-cause mortality. The label says 100% juice. The body processes it like liquid sugar. Number 4. Flavored yogurt. Yogurt has an exceptional health reputation, and plain yogurt genuinely deserves it. It's high in protein, full of probiotics, and low in sugar. But the flavored yogurt sitting in most refrigerators, the strawberry, peach, vanilla, or blueberry varieties, is a fundamentally different product that happens to share the same container and the same health halo. A single serving of a major brand flavored yogurt can contain 20 to 26 grams of added sugar, more than you'd find in a glazed donut. The fruit listed in the name is typically a small amount of fruit concentrate mixed with high fructose corn syrup or cane sugar. The probiotics that make plain yogurt valuable are often partially neutralized by the added sugars, which feed harmful gut bacteria rather than beneficial ones. What makes this particularly effective marketing is that flavored yogurt is heavily positioned as a diet food. Low in calories, high in protein, good for you. That positioning has worked. It's one of the most purchased items in the health foods aisle. Read the sugar content on the label the next time you pick one up. Number 3. Seed oils. This is the one that gets the most pushback because seed oils, canola, soybean, sunflower, corn, and cottonseed oil, are in almost everything. Restaurant food, packaged snacks, salad dressings, protein bars, crackers, bread. They're cheaper than butter or olive oil, they have a neutral flavor, and they were promoted for decades as heart-healthy alternatives to saturated fat. The problem is that the science behind that recommendation has significantly eroded. Seed oils are extremely high in omega-6 polyunsaturated fatty acids, specifically linoleic acid. Omega-6 is an essential fat, but your ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 matters enormously. The human body evolved on a ratio of roughly 1 to 1. The modern Western diet averages between 15 to 1 and 20 to 1 in favor of omega-6, almost entirely because of seed oil consumption. An elevated omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is consistently associated in the research with increased systemic inflammation, which is the underlying driver of cardiovascular disease, metabolic syndrome, and a range of chronic conditions. The second issue is oxidation. Seed oils are highly unstable at high heat. When you cook with them, they oxidize and produce compounds called aldehydes, which are directly toxic to cells. A 2015 study from De Montfort University found that heating sunflower oil produced aldehydes at concentrations up to 200 times higher than the safety limits recommended by the World Health Organization. Number 2. Whole wheat bread and breakfast cereals. Before you close this video, this isn't about cutting carbs. It's about what the food industry has done to whole grains and why the whole grain label on a package means almost nothing about how your body will respond to it. Whole grains in their natural form, intact, unprocessed, are genuinely nutritious. That's not the product most people are eating. Most commercial whole wheat bread and breakfast cereal is made from flour, which means the grain has been ground into a fine powder. Grinding destroys the physical structure that slows digestion. The result is a product that spikes your blood sugar just as sharply as white bread, sometimes more. Dr. David Jenkins at the University of Toronto, the researcher who created the glycemic index, found that whole wheat bread and white bread produce nearly identical blood glucose responses. The difference in glycemic index is negligible. Breakfast cereals add another layer to this. Even products marketed as high-fiber, heart-healthy, or made with whole grains are frequently ultra-processed, stripped of nutrients, then sprayed with synthetic vitamins and loaded with sugar. A bowl of many major brand cereals contains more sugar per serving than a chocolate chip cookie. The packaging shows wheat fields and sunrises. The ingredients list tells a different story. And the #1 food category that is secretly destroying your health: ultra-processed food. This isn't a specific product, it's a classification, and it's the most important thing you can understand about modern nutrition. Researchers at the University of São Paulo developed a food classification system called NOVA, which categorizes food by the degree of industrial processing rather than by nutrients. Ultra-processed foods are products that contain ingredients you would never find in a home kitchen: emulsifiers, artificial flavors, color stabilizers, modified starches, hydrogenated oils, and chemical preservatives designed to extend shelf life indefinitely. The research on ultra-processed food is among the most alarming in nutritional science. A 2024 umbrella review published in the British Medical Journal analyzed 45 meta-analyses covering nearly 10 million people across multiple countries. It found that high consumption of ultra-processed food was associated with a 50% higher risk of cardiovascular disease mortality, a 48 to 53% higher risk of anxiety and depression, a 12% increased risk of type 2 diabetes, and direct links to 32 separate negative health outcomes, including early death. These are not small correlations. They're some of the strongest associations nutritional epidemiology has ever documented. The reason ultra-processed food lands at #1 isn't just the health data, it's the scale. Ultra-processed products account for approximately 60% of the average American adult's daily caloric intake and over 67% of children's calories. The other 4 items on this list today are concerning on their own. But ultra-processed food is the system that makes all of them possible. The industrial framework that takes natural ingredients, strips their nutritional complexity, and engineers products optimized not for health, but for maximum palatability, maximum shelf life, and maximum repeat purchase. If there's one change that the research most consistently supports, it's eating less of this category overall. That's your top 5: fruit juice, flavored yogurt, seed oils, whole wheat bread and cereals, and ultra-processed food. None of this means you need to throw out your kitchen. It means the health labels on food packaging are not the same as the health outcomes in the research, and knowing the difference puts you in a completely different position when you're making choices. If you want to follow up on what to actually replace these with, drop a comment. Subscribe to Top 5 Zone and we'll see you on the next list.